Alright guys, I am back to do another Miitopia episode. I was originally just gonna wait until wait another couple of weeks or so, but I decided to go ahead and do a second one, and then in another week or two I can do episode 3. Now I don't know what order we're gonna be I'm gonna be releasing all of these videos in, but I also have the 2 baseball season episodes of Papa's Scooperia recorded and uploaded. I just need to. They're not going to show up for you guys because, like I said, it's unlisted, but I just need to figure out when we're going to do them. We might just do them. We're probably going to do them before. Not before, after this Miitopia episode, since Green Ethan already said he was cool with premiering this tonight, and I'm gonna guess 12:30 because that's when we've usually been premiering. There are exceptions if he gets busy, like watching a movie, but usually we do them at like 12:30. Sorry, let me get my pointer out of the way. There we go. I meant to go to the tough. Wait, this might be it. Aha, there we go. I meant to do this path. I'm not going to go back and do every path because it's a bit tedious, but I might go back and do some of them. Now, I want to at least get my horse situated in this episode. That's my goal for this episode. I'm just gonna go give these Miis their stupid bananas so they should shut the fuck up about them. It's not gonna make them prevent fucking up when they're supposed to be buying equipment, but at least it'll help them want to buy it to begin with. Yeah, these banshees are overpowered, but I figured it'd be better to go ahead and defeat them before doing like a boss, so. Oh god. Safe spot. Yeah, banshees are annoying early on. They get easier to deal with as you grow stronger, but at the beginning, they are OP. Oh, that was an accident. We need freaking flambe. It'll be easier. God, I freaking hate banshees. They are annoying as heck. But yeah, today was a pretty good day. As you know, Green Ethan, I don't know if I told Ashton or Purple Ethan, but I woke up early again because this time for a haircut. I like to get haircuts because my hair is like very thick, so when I do get a haircut, I just feel nice and fresh, and it's easier to take care of my hair. And my dad's doing pretty well too. He just got hip surgery, but he still has to use his walker, but little by little, he's actually being able to do more and more. He's getting better and better. He apparently had physical therapy today and Monday, and he'll have to go again on Friday, I believe. And yeah, it hurts, but I'm glad he's doing it because it'll help him get back to a full recovery more quickly. And then in a couple of weeks or so, he's gonna try taking us to the DMV, so him and my brother can get their licenses renewed, and they're gonna try, keyword try, to finally get me my ID. Good, I need that. And friendship with Taru. But yeah. He's gonna, I mean, I don't know if, unfortunately, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it, but we're gonna try. I'm crossing my fingers that I will be able to, or at the very least, if I'm not able to, they can give my dad, tell my dad what to do, you know, give him some advice on what he needs to bring or what he needs to do so I can get my ID finally. Because I'm like, you need an ID for a lot of stuff. It's not just about being able to buy drugs and alcohol. I don't care about that shit. You unfortunately need it for a lot of stuff, and I think that includes to have a bank account. How did I get MP back? Huh. Strange. I wasn't paying attention. Because I didn't have... I ran out of MP sprinkles. Huh. Ooh, nice. Lightning. Ashton learned it too. Anton learned Flambe. But yeah, hopefully it'll all work out and I can finally get my ID in the next few weeks or so. Because they have to go anyway. Oh my god, seriously, Taru? I fucking hate the wrong purchase feature. It can go to hell. For all I care. Everyone hates Banshee Tears. Okay, good. Ash is okay with them. Good, because he's a mage. He needs that magic buff to become even better. But yeah, hopefully I can get my ID in the next couple of weeks. If not, like I said, I'm hoping the bank can tell them what to do. Because my dad's gonna try to explain my situation to them. You know, I think he's gonna try to explain my situation. How I'm still unable to live on my own. No, give it to Taru. She's the one fucking up. She needs that. She's a main teammate. But yeah. And he's gonna try to bring my school ID, I believe, and I think he either said my birth certificate or social... He said something else, like, was it my birth certificate, social security information? I don't know. I'm a bit worried about that because I was born in Virginia, so if... Seriously, Taru? Jesus fucking Christ. Buy the right fucking thing. You're a main teammate. You need to do this more than anyone. And the thing was, I was born in Virginia, so I don't know how taking my birth certificate will work. Even my school ID. You know, I went to school in Texas all through my life, but I didn't go to school in the town I live in now, so I don't know how those two things are going to work out. Oh my god. I hate banshees with a burning passion. I swear I hate them so much. Well, they're not as bad like earlier, or I mean later in the game, but in the beginning they are freaking OP as hell. Oh. I don't even play full screen because I get a pretty decent screen size even without it, and I'll just have to keep closing it to put in the war cries, so I just not play on a full screen, though I may try it one of these days. I wish clerics had more attack-based skills. I'm not gonna lie, I think playing as a cleric can be pretty boring. Now, it's cool being able to have the power to righteous anger the enemies. But they only target one enemy, and they don't have many attack-based skills besides aura, and, you know, they only have the basic attack. Aura and righteous anger. I mean, I get it, you know, they're much more catered towards healing than they are, like, attacking, but it does render them quite powerless in terms of, like, attacking enemies. Oh, yes! You see, Taru? That was smart. Now we have just enough MP to do flambe. Now buy the right fucking equipment. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to finally get my ID soon. Even if it takes a little bit longer. I just hope they'll give him advice on what to do. But he's going to try to bring some stuff to them and try explaining my situation, so hopefully it works out. If anything, hopefully they can give him advice on what else he needs to bring for me to get my ID. Because, like I said, we're going to try to do it without the guardianship, because we have not had any luck with that. We've been trying to get get a guardianship between me and my dad for like over a year to 2 years now, but almost 3 years probably, but it just hasn't worked out because most lawyers just refuse to do it because, you know, they have like other things going on with their job and whatnot. Plus, I'm kind of weary about it too, so I'd rather just not have it, to be honest. Especially if if it's gonna take another God knows how long to get it. My friend Purple Ethan, he told me he got his ID back in 2018, and I don't even know if he has like a guardianship thing going on between him and his mom. So. And he used to live in Delaware too, so he's not the only one who... And now he lives in Kansas, so he's not the only one who's, you know, moved out of the state they were born in. If anything, I see us in kind of similar situations, you know. We're still unable to live on our own, you know. We live with a single parent, and we both used to live in other states. Like, I was born in Virginia, but now I live in Texas. He was born in Delaware, but now he lives in Kansas. Hell, he's even like in like a day program. He's been in a few day programs before too, so hopefully that shouldn't take as long either. It's just a process. But first, like, I need to get like a fresh look by the doctors. I mean, I was already diagnosed with neurofibromatosis, but he said that I may have to go back and get like a more up-to-date diagnosis. Okay, thank you. Fuck. Okay, good. No more banshees. So yeah, hopefully we'll make some more progress on that this year. And like I said, I don't know if I probably mentioned it before, but I like how they move differently based on their personalities. Although energetic and laid back Miis have the same animation, but the other ones are different. Kind Miis will look back and forth. Cautious Miis will shake. Cool Miis will cross their arms and glare at the enemy, and stubborn Miis will like shake angrily. Oh wow, that dealt a lot of damage. Holy sheep shit. Goodness gracious. It only took 3 freaking hits to take down Pookie Mouse. But yeah, I've had a good April. Like, this April has been really, really fun. Even, like, in, 2 days, the last day of April, and, I say it ended pretty well, too. Last April did not end very well, but I can say this one ended a lot better for me. Ashton, you probably know the context of what happened last year on April 30th. I vented about it in the Discord server. Green Ethan, you might be aware too, because I think I've talked a little bit about it throughout some of my videos. But first, as a disclaimer, my dad is a good person deep down, but the context of what happened last year is he got frustrated with me, like really upset with me because I was stressed out about my grandparents' dog coming over with us for 3 weeks since my grandparents were on a cruise. And it went beyond that. Like, he started lecturing me about a lot of things. Like, he claimed I wasn't appreciative, which I am. I just, I'm just very uncomfortable around dogs. Like, I'm sorry if I sound selfish, but I'm just very uncomfortable around dogs. So, I'm sorry, but I think I have the right to be a little bit frustrated. It's not like I'm telling my grandparents, "No, you can't bring him over!" I was just showing mild frustration. And then he somehow brought my mom, leaving into, it was just a freaking mess of an evening last year. So I'm glad this April 30th and April in general ended a lot better. Now, April of last year, I had some good days, It was, some days were actually pretty eventful last year in April, but it was just, the last day, it ended very badly. This April was a lot better. A lot better. Both in general and this day specifically. With that being said, however, I'm still looking forward to May. I'm kind of looking forward to April being over, because by the time we get a few days into May, my dad will be closer to making a full recovery, and like I said, he can take us all to the DMV, because it's, like I said, it's not just me, him and my brother also. Need to get their licenses renewed. Oh, yes. Careful now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to May. That being the main reason. That's why I was originally planning on doing the second episode 2 weeks or like a week or two or so into May, but I didn't want to wait that long to do a second episode, so I decided to do a third or a second episode today and then do the third episode about 2 weeks or so into May. That does look pretty. I meant to go to the arcade. Alright, good. Good. So yeah, hopefully when I do the third episode, I'll have an update on how the whole ID situation went or how it will be going. Like, hopefully I can give another update on that. And yeah, don't get me wrong, my dad is a cool person deep down. I don't know. I think he was really stressed out. Cause, he was probably stressed out from work. Plus, he was in a lot of pain due to his bad leg, his bad hip. And I don't know, I think he just let his stress and his frustration get to him that day. Plus, we have two different opinions on dogs. I am extremely uncomfortable around them, and my dad, yeah, he's a dog nutter. So instead of trying to see things from my perspective, he just gets frustrated at me for not liking dogs. Hell, my grandma herself is aware of my discomfort around dogs, and she says that it's probably a sensory issue. I'm uncomfortable of them, of them jumping on me. I'm uncomfortable of them being in my space when I'm trying to do stuff. It's just annoying. And, she probably does have a point, because I do have sensory issues. And it can be absolute hell because sometimes mainly my mom, she never really took my sensory issues seriously. She would sometimes force me to wear makeup and force me to wear jewelry and force me to have my hair stylized. She just never took that into consideration, that I was uncomfortable with that stuff. That's why it seems like I have a grudge against her every time I mention about her. Like, we do love each other deep down. She would, but like, a lot of the times, she would just give me a hard time about shit. My dad is considering, like, is thinking about having, well, not really thinking about, but not right now, but like, he thinks it's possible for him and my mom to get back together later on down the road, and I just don't think it's a good idea. I'm not saying I want to just not see her again, but I don't know, it's hard to forgive her. Like, it's like, it's just hard to forgive her after all she's done. And it's not even just about, like, you know, maritable things that happened between her and my father. Like, there have been some issues between her and I, too. My dad tells me I should just let it go. I mean, I kind of get where he's coming from, but it's not just the past, you know? You also have to think about the future as well. And that's what a lot of people don't get. I'm not saying we should be holding grudges, because it harms the holder as much as it does the offender, if not more. But the fact of the matter is, you like, we just can't help it. I wish it was easy to just forgive her and forget about her mistakes with the snap of a finger. But I just can't do that. Like I said, I do understand where my dad's coming from, but like I also said, you also have to think about the future, like the possibility of her repeating some of the same mistakes in the future, you know? It's not just about the past, but it's also about making sure she'll do better. Ooh, good job, Anton. Oh boy. Yeah, that imp is pretty powerful. That's why I went ahead and got the banshees out of the way first, so the imp fight would be at least a little bit easier. And another thing too is, you know, it's a red flag. This is like, I see this as a red flag, but like, there have been times where I've tried to bring up, I mean, yeah, there have been times where I've tried to bring up mistakes my mom made in the past. I mean, I know I probably shouldn't do that, because it just opens up old wounds, but at the same time, she needs to understand what she's done wrong, you know what I mean? That's why I do that. I'm not trying to make her feel bad, like, I just want her to know how she's hurt me. That way she can make an effort to not do those things again. But like I said, like, she'll just deny it. And like I said, I kind of see that as a red flag, because people who deny their mistakes, you know, they usually don't care about improving themselves or doing better, because they're oblivious and to what they did in the past. You know what I mean? So that's something I like consider a red flag in a relationship. Be it platonic, romantic, or in mine and my mom's case, familial. And yeah, but believe me, I don't like holding grudges either. It stresses me out, but the truth of the matter is, I just can't help it. That's like telling someone to get rid. I'm not saying what my mom did was traumatic, but that's like telling someone to get rid of or to get over trauma. You people just can't, you know. Believe me, if we could, we would, but it's just hard for some of us. Because number one, some of us are neurodivergent, so we tend to overthink things, and it's hard to get intrusive thoughts out of our head. And because, you know, I am neurodivergent, you know, I've mentioned, you know, I'm pretty open about it when I make these Miitopia videos, because, you know, it's nice to just vent while I'm playing Miitopia and then uploading it to YouTube. Because I know some of you guys can relate to some of the things I talk about, and I even like to go back and watch them myself. But as you guys know, I am somewhere on the autism spectrum, and while I'm not officially diagnosed, like, I've been suspecting about having ADHD as well. For the longest time, I didn't really think about it, but I think I had it like back in August 2022. That's when I had like an epiphany. That's when I realized, oh my god, I think I could have it actually. And the more I look into it, the more I think I have it, because I look at a lot of the symptoms that I deal with, and then I'll research online, like, could this be because of ADHD? And then usually it's like, yes, blah blah blah, can be a cause of, or yeah, can stem from ADHD. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's hard for me to let things go. You know? People who are on the autism spectrum and or have ADHD, you know, we struggle to let things go because, you know, they're intrusive thoughts, like, you know, they stay stuck inside our head. Plus, you also have to also take the future into consideration, you know. That's what I think my other reasoning is. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not just about the past, it's about making sure people are not going to repeat the same mistakes in the future. So yeah, I'm really, really skeptical of my mom living with us again. I'm hoping it just doesn't happen, or I have my own place. Or at the very least, it won't be until my dad and my brother live separately. Because that way we won't be so crammed in, like we'll be more spread out, even if we do have to live under the same roof. But I would love for my dad to just wait until I have my own place. Now, I am 100% on board with my mom living in the same town as us. When my grandparents, you know, on my mom's side in Houston, you know, I don't want to mention it, but yeah. When my mom can get her my mom would get her inheritance, and we won't have a reason to go out of town to see family. You know, I'm on board with her in the next decade or two, living in the same town as us, because it would be a lot easier to like visit with her. But like her living with us, she's way too intrusive. That's one of the main reasons why I'm skeptical. Like, she's just intrusive in many ways. And like I said, I've tried talking about the makeup and jewelry. Oh, the horse, good. The makeup and jewelry example. But she just denies ever forcing me. And like, she did. Like, I'm not just saying she did. Like, I actually do have legitimate memories of her doing that. And the fact that she doesn't want to admit to her wrongdoings, again, it's just not a good sign. I mean, she knows that I don't like it, but, you know, she's told me, like, many times, look, like, via text, look, I know you don't like it, I understand. And, you know, that is a little bit reassuring, but the thing is, why would she do it then? You know what I mean? Like, why would people claim to know stuff, but yet they do the opposite? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand why people do that. But yeah, I'm gonna do the same horse that I use on my hand or my light playthrough in my other file on the emulator. Yeah, I decided to also do a playthrough on the Switch Lite because I want to take another shot at 100%ing Miitopia, but I'm not able to do it on the emulator because the cinema and cafe tickets will crash the game, and you need the music from those two in order to get the Music Maestro medal. So yeah. But yep. This is a horse based on Valentine's Day that I use on my other files. And oh my god. Wait, did I make a female horse or a male horse? I don't remember that popping up. Oh well. I'll check if I can. And oh my god, I dodged a massive bullet last night. So I went to defeat the replica Dark Lord on the Switch Lite, because that's the one I'm trying to 100%. And Orgia, oh my god, she almost spared the replica Dark Lord, and that would not have been good because you can't go back to Galados, the area in Galados Isle, to defeat it. You know, that level disappears after you get the Elf job, so I would have had to wait for a replica Dark Lord to appear on a quest again. I would have been pissed if that spare was successful. Now, don't get me wrong, spares can be heartwarming, but sometimes they don't always succeed at the best times. So I'm glad that one failed, honestly. Because the thing is, if a spare is successful, number one, you don't get the money, the grub, or the EXP. And if it's your first time defeating an enemy, but instead one of your kind me's tries to spare it, it won't appear in your monster journal. Like, you know, I've experienced with that before and got pissed off when it didn't work, so yeah. I was worried I was gonna be screwed. And I was worried about it too. I was even saying out loud, you better not spare him, Orgia. But she did anyway. But luckily, the replica Dark Lord slapped some sense into her. Yep, Valerie, derived from Valentine's Day. Yeah, I don't even remember the option coming up, whether it was a male or a female. What? Yeah. Oh, okay, good. Female horse. I was worried it was a male horse. Thank God. Oh, and you can change the gender, so if I accidentally did make him a male, I would have at least been able to change it. But yeah, I'm just gonna... You can't customize the saddle at first. You have to go back and do it, so I'm doing this right quick. But yeah, oh my god. I was worried that Spare would work and I would have to wait to defeat him again. I'm glad it didn't. Alright, and we're almost an hour in anyway. And I said I wanted to get the horse. So I think this is a good time to end it. See you guys later. Bye.